Awesome. Technology is finally working. Yay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Military Mondays. If you and I don't know each other, I would love for you to connect with me on Facebook or go to militarymondays.info. That's militarymondays with an s.info. And if you are a veteran and you have your own business, or maybe you're the spouse of a veteran and you have your own business, reach out to me because I'd love to have a conversation with you and maybe feature you on one of my Military Mondays. But without further ado, I have an amazing lady on today. She is definitely a boss lady and a badass. I met Nuala through a networking group in Texas and online, of course, with everything going on in the world right now. And I am so blessed to have met her. And she is a veteran also. So we have a lot of things in common. So thank you so much for being on today, Nuala.
I appreciate you having me here. Thank you so much, Brenda.
You're welcome. So give us a little bit about your background in the military. You were in the Army, and I know you were medically retired. So share with my audience a little bit about what you did in the service and, your service history.
Okay, well, I started out coming into the military as a 74 Bravo, which was an information specialist, system specialist. But you know how the military likes to change those jobs around. So it went from a 74 series to a 25 series. And through going my military career, which was 14 years before I was medically retired, I ended up wearing several hats. So I had information systems analysts, but then I also had satellite communications and radio. So they kind of added Quebec and Sierra onto my thing without me going to additional schools just because of all the training that I had. So we did a lot of things with computers, radios, anything that had to do with you getting to talk to someone else or the outside, that was my job.
Awesome. And you were medically retired because you got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of why you're doing what you do today and helping people, right?
Exactly. I think there's a huge disconnect. There always kind of has been a giant disconnect between military members and what we call like civilians, right? We have a very defining line about us and them, and it's purely because of what we can relate to and our experiences. But it's not like people liking a specific kind of music or people liking a specific kind of dress or people who love to cook versus people who love to do macrame. It's way bigger than that. It's pretty much how we see, because the military is like a microcosm of the world, really. You have a whole bunch of belief systems, cultures, um, people who come from different countries even to serve in one place for one mission and one focus. And that, in the experiences that we have while we're doing that kind of thing, it creates these really deep relationships that last like lifetimes, even though we might have years between when we get to see each other.
And so let's talk about that for a minute, because since we're talking about the skills and how the military is different, and it's not different in a bad way. I mean, I have a ton of civilians that I absolutely love and adore, and they have their own set of skills, I would say. So what would you say that a military member, what are the skills that you learn in the military that make you great, either as an employee or great to own your own business?
The three things that I've noticed that a lot of employers look for, or myself, if I'm looking for team members, or if I was just hiring across the board, people look for veterans for three major reasons. They look because of discipline, they look for them because of leadership qualities, and they look for them because of adaptability. Those three things are what makes hiring veterans a boon for a lot of companies. And you learn that while you're going through, even if you only served a basic 4 years, those are things that you have a clear understanding of and that you've been able to practice.
Because of our training, I mean, we were trained those type of things in the culture. Even if that's not who you were before you came into the service, you get assimilated, as my husband would like to say, into the culture, and you learn those things. So whether they're innate skills or not, they become huge assets to you to be able to go out and start your own business, or those are assets that you should key in on if you are looking to get a job. If you're looking to be a traditional employee, I would hone in on those, because most of us in the service, until we've been out for a while, don't realize the asset and the skills that we bring to the table. And so, you know, everybody who's watching right now, and Nuala would say the same thing, you're awesome. You have a great set of skills, and you're unique, and you have something different for the workforce or the business community than anybody else has. And I encourage you to tap into that and go explore your passions. So talking about passions, Nuala, transform your life. Why you are. So a little different spelling. That's your business. So let's talk about that, because I know it spans a pretty large area of what you offer for people. So kind of explain a little bit to the audience.
Okay. As military members, we love acronyms, right? And then about 60 days prior to you leaving, they try to get you out of the habit of using acronyms because people just don't understand. There's no context for them. So when people see my business, it's Transform Why You Are Life. They're like, you spelled it wrong. It's like, no, it's actually an acronym. Your is Transform Your Life is you under reconstruction. And the thing that is really important for military members to learn, especially when it comes to migrating, right? You want to assimilate back into the civilian world, but keep all of the strengths and the skills that you learned while you were in the military. Sometimes when we experience difficulties like what I did, if you experience trauma, if you have PTSD, if that triggered other chemical changes within the brain where they might have diagnosed you with something else, extreme high levels of stress, whatever that's going to be, you have had to manage that in any which way that you think worked best for you. But trying to assimilate that back into the civilian world can be difficult. And sometimes we lose our sense of purpose, especially if we didn't choose to retire or we had to be separated for something. And that's the very first major hurdle that a military member going from active duty service into completing your service has to deal with is, what is your purpose now? And for some people, that is like the very first hurdle. That's the major issue, because you're dealing with all of this emotional change, all of this maybe physical damage and injury. And then you're losing like who we identify with as a really long time. Like, I am a soldier, and forever all of us are going to be, we stand watch, right? We're there for each other. We need to be open to talking with people and support each other, because our community is a specialized community. So my business actually helps connect you with the services, products, and people that you're going to need. So at any time, we need to remember this is totally not selfish, right? You cannot take yourself out of any equation, because this life only exists because you're actually living in it, right? Without you being here, there actually wouldn't be your life. So focusing on what you need to take care of you first so that you can take care of other things is going to be the change in your priority. And it's not selfish to take care of yourself first. As mamas, right? Boss ladies, business mamas, we understand that if we are not in the best of health, and if we are not in the prime of what we're doing in the daytime, nothing will get done. We're basically the foundation and pillar of our family. So if I don't take care of myself first, I'm going to drop a lot of balls that has to do with other people's lives. So take care of yourself first, or what we like to call fill your cup. Because while you're trying to fill the cups of others, if you run dry, you're not going to be able to do a good job. So when it comes to your wellness, your mindset, your physical health, and getting you from point A to point B, as well as keeping you accountable during that journey, because you allow me to, that is what I do.
Awesome. So you and we had this conversation earlier. We're very similar, and you just talked about 3 things. And my husband and you talked about self being very important. Well, my husband and I talk about a 3-legged stool. Have you ever seen a 3-legged stool, or one of those like coffee tables that has the 3 legs?
Mm-hmm.
And we like to talk about those 3 legs in our business as self, others, and business.
Right.
Because you can't have a business without you. You can't have a business without others. So, and think of a 3-legged stool. And I love your analogy of the 3 legs and everything also, because self is so important. Have you ever seen a 3-legged stool where one is missing or shorter than the other? Is it very effective?
And it's not effective at all. Even if it was a 4-legged stool, you take one away, it doesn't work anymore.
Exactly. So you have to, and you can't serve others. Or, those of us that have been in the military, if you're not of optimal health and fitness, then you can't serve. It's the same thing in business, or if you're an employee in a civilian world. If you don't take care of you, you can't serve others or do the mission that you're on. So thank you so much for that. I love the 3-legged stool analogy.
I use
So
that for a lot of things. I also
yeah,
use it for people when we talk about building new habits, healthier lifestyle, right? Lifestyle changes that do help you get from whatever goals you have, right? So I'm here and I want to be here. There's a lot of other things you're talking about holistically, right? All the other things that you need to tap into. And then with business, the 3 things that you have to make sure that you're keeping in balance for business. So the 3-legged stool works for a lot of things.
I love it. I love it. So, Nuala helps with not just your health, but like she said, tools. She likes to plug you into tools that are going to help you in your life or in business. And definitely health is a huge component of that for her, because of her disability in that from the service, that she's learned that that's a key component to making sure. And I've learned that too. If you've watched my journey and my husband's journey over the last couple of years, you've seen both of us shrink and take control of our health. And when you take control of your health, you have more energy, you can serve people better. Life is better when you're healthy. So if you have health challenges, I highly recommend you reach out to Nuala. She can help you with that. Or she has some amazing tools, and there's no way we can go through all of those today on the show. But if you have a business and you are struggling to keep everything afloat, to balance, to keep that plate spinning, some of the tools Nuala and I have talked about that she has are flipping amazing. So you ought to reach out to her. Nuala, I have one last question for you, and that is, what piece of advice would you give somebody that's thinking about getting out, whether they're just separating or retiring in 3 to 5 years out of the service?
In 3 to 5 years out of the service. So we're always thinking about what we're going to do, right? The military teaches you to to try to be proactive, not reactive. So 3 to 5 years ahead of time, you need to be thinking about what kind of occupation you want to be. You want to be networking with the people that can get you where you'd like to be. But I highly, highly recommend that every single military member have a side biz, even while you're in the military. And stay with me. This is why I'm saying this. There are lots of different feelings about direct sales or about multi-level marketing. There's so many businesses and maybe the pressure to sell, but here's the kicker. Your taxing bracket is different when you're a business owner. Your ability to be able to see and control your finances is going to be much greater. And no matter what job you pick, there will always be a ceiling. If you create your own job as an entrepreneur, or you go with multi-level marketing or direct sales, where all the difference between the two is they already created the product, they already did all the research, and you just have to find what you're passionate about and what you relate to, right? And then try to build a business within that. But build a business, right? Build something that's actually going to get you the financial freedom, the time freedom, right? And the things not lording over your head anymore, so that eventually over time, your income does not require a third party. It's not a boss. You can't lose your job. Your income actually sits on whether or not you're consistent, you're able to learn, and you're able to share what you're doing with others. And, even though I'm making it seem simpler than it actually is, that's actually what it is. So build something and the foundation for you before you get out, and know that you can actually help your taxes if you start building a business or having a side biz, as a lot of us boss ladies call it, right? The side biz. Because whether you're a male or a female, this is going to be detrimental to you when you get out of the military.
The thing that I love about that, Nuala, is, and you and I preach the same thing, is even if you never expect that side biz to be your primary, your plan A, your plan B, move to plan A, even if all it is a plan B, it allows you to travel with your family or to have the extra things. But it also is a safety net that if something happens to you or someone in your family and you want to be able to step back from that job, it gives you that safety net to say, I have this over here and I have this income coming in, so I can step away from it to take care of the family, which the family always come, at least in my household, and I know in your household, family comes
Family
first.
comes first.
And it needs to come first, and it allows you to have that safety net. The other thing is we are so equipped as military members, because you were talking about all the different things, but when you were talking about direct sales and network marketing or multi-level marketing, you were talking about all the different benefits. But I believe one of the other benefits for military members to get involved with one of those platforms is they've already developed the system. We know how to plug into systems. We know how to plug into checklists. We know how to do that. And that's all network marketing or direct sales is a system that you plug into that is a proven system that's been done over and over again. And now you get to just plug in and do it. It's very much like a franchise. So many people in the military, when they get out, are looking to do a franchise. Well, direct sales and network marketing are just the 21st century franchise.
Right.
They're just a different type, in a way, of a franchise. So we could talk about that for hours, you and I. So if somebody is interested in learning more, even if it's not about what either of us do, you or I, and it just wants education on those different types of opportunities, I'm sure Nuala would love to have a conversation with you, and I would love to have a conversation with you. We'd also love to plug you into our networking groups. I believe Nuala has some veteran networking groups also. I know that she has a lot of business networking groups. And as you know, I do too. So please reach out to Nuala or myself if you're getting ready to retire, or maybe you didn't plan ahead and that date was yesterday or in a few months. Please reach out to one of us. Let us get you hooked in and networked with people to either get a job or find out what you're passionate about and start that business.
Hey, Brenda, can I throw in a caveat real quick?
Sure.
So we all want to grow, right? Our passion is to continue to build a new mission. Maybe our focus now is to give back, which I think is a wonderful thing. My whole life has been a life of service, and some people want that to just be what they do now. In which case, definitely hook up with me and Brenda to help you. But in the case, because I said something that some people don't recognize as, we stand watch. What does that mean? That means we, the service members, of some of us who have seen combat, some of us who do not, but we understand that ability to relate to one another is really important to try and kick that 22 a day stat, that 22 military members, veterans, people who have served take their lives on a daily basis. And that was taken from something that was not even current. This went back. So someone sat there and did all of the numbers up to this point, came with that 22, right? So on Facebook, there is a group called Formation 22. It is not a place to put ads or to network for business. It's not a place to try and sell yourself. It's purely there for people to connect with each other and to have someone be there and ready to listen to you. It's for when we feel like and our brain starts to convince us that we're all alone. You absolutely are not. There are thousands and thousands of military members, current and past served, that are waiting to listen to what you have to say, because we would like to completely annihilate that number, right? We want to make sure that people win their fight against depression, and that you remember that you are never alone, and that many of us do stand watch. Thanks, Brenda.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for being on today. Nuala, we could probably do 4 or 5 episodes and and share lots of different things, but I appreciate you being on today and taking some time out of a Monday morning to be here with me and my viewers. So thanks again. I appreciate you. Thank you for your service in the military and for your service today to the community and helping people to achieve their best them, their best you. So if you are a military member or the spouse of a military member, or you're a veteran, whether you serve past or currently serving, I would love to have a conversation with you and see if you would be a good fit for Military Mondays. And if you are a business owner struggling with follow-up, you hate it, you struggle with it, reach out to me because I can help you with that. And please reach out to Nuala. She'll put her contact information in the chat below, in the comments below. And thank you again, everybody, for watching today. And we will see you next Monday on Military Mondays. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.